Comeuppance Network.
This is how to watch TV.
On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV.
Westworld with Joel and Jeremy. My name's Joel. It's Jeremy.
We are brought to you by Comeuppance Network. You can check out all of our social media sites at thishishowtowatchtv.com. Email us directly or indirectly at thishishowtowatchtv@gmail.com. And then there's, of course, the Twitter.
Yeah, @_howtowatchtv. Hit me up on there. Nobody really asks any questions or talks about stuff, so I guess we need to instigate more, back and forth in all this. Like, tell us things that we're missing. Again, let us know.
I mean, seriously,
I like talking about TV. I'm not doing this because I'm some pretentious douchebag that's still... No, I'm not saying I'm not a pretentious douchebag. I'm saying I don't do this because I'm some pretentious douchebag who wants everybody to hear my thoughts on it. Like, I want a discussion. I enjoy talking about these things. I assume he does as well.
A discussion, not a debate. We debate, but...
Right. That's debatable.
It's debatable.
Whether we debate. We're here to discuss...
We've had some pretty good debates on some things here and there through the podcast.
Oh, mainly Game of Thrones, I think, because I think that's the one...
It inspires a lot of passion.
We're both the most knowledgeable about that one of the shows we talk about. I feel like...
I feel lost in Westworld. I mean, honestly,
I feel like I'm flubbing through most of it.
Some of it, seriously, we're trying to give theories and stuff, but it's kind of harder when you... I mean, I don't know, Game of Thrones almost feels like second nature, where we're 6 seasons in, the world. Like, this one's just starting, but it's exciting, and I do like talking about it.
Well, we're learning now whether every detail matters or it doesn't. Like, I think we'll know that by the end of this season.
Well, yeah, but you gave me some haunting news that said that they renewed it, but it might not be till 2018.
Yeah, season 2 it's renewed for season 2, but it's unlikely it would be out because of the sprawling aspect of the show and how big the world is what they were saying. Like, it just logistically speaking is going to take longer. I wonder if they're wrapping up a story in season 1. I wonder if it's just going to be like, okay, that's that, and then boom, here's this other thing.
Moving on to
not Man in Black anymore, like that storyline being over almost. Like, I feel like that's going to come to some conclusion.
Well, that would be kind of cool, but I don't know, man. Ford, you talk about moving on to another set of characters.
I mean, moving on to some other story, in the park. He would stay, I would imagine.
Fucking killed it in this episode for me.
Right. Oh, he was great.
I'm talking about a couple of scenes. The scene where he didn't even say a word in the scene that Bernard got fired in.
Right.
But his look on his face of, you're fucking done, bitch, was fucking fantastic. To looking at Teresa.
Oh,
and
okay.
He just knew the whole thing was bullshit to begin with. Him and Bernard, we learn later, but standing there at that moment, Bernard's human, and so is Ford, and they're both watching it going, this is a crock of shit. Both of them are staring at it like this is not. You could see
Bernard didn't think it would happen?
That was staged.
Oh, that it was a setup.
The whole thing was a setup to fire Ford. And the way the way he looked at them when they fired Bernard, it's just like, I will say, I gotcha.
He looks terrible. Well, and I get it. It's
old,
just his age.
But I get it. But
God, the up close HD shots of his eye wrinkles are wow. That's a bit too intimate.
Now I'm going to ask you this. I don't know. Do you see a lot of makeup? I don't think I see a lot of makeup on Anthony.
Okay, but I think that's just good makeup. They absolutely have to be wearing makeup because the lights would be reflecting off of their face.
Okay.
We don't wear makeup, so there's probably parts that look shiny. Like on my forehead there, it looks a little
looking
shiny.
Up at the monitor, you gotta get,
Because
you're shiny because you're just like a sweat machine.
I'm not even hot at the moment. I'm fat, okay? I'm fat and I sweat. I'm always
you're
warm.
Fat, sweaty, and diabetic.
Right.
So, yeah, you sweat.
I mean, I'm not diabetic fat. I mean, I'm fat, but I'm not diabetic
that's
fat.
debatable.
Fine, fair enough. I am technically diabetic fat, I guess, because I am diabetic and I am fat.
I'm sorry, that was I couldn't leave it alone.
This episode was episode 7 called Trompe. I can't.
Like oil or something like that.
I can't. I'm not even gonna try. I genuinely have.
O'Neill oil. It looks like O'Neill without the end.
Loeil. Then you nailed it. If there's no
Trompe Loeil
or Trompe.
Trompe Loeil. Anyway,
like that.
so okay, moving on.
I just wrote down a couple points that I wanted to talk about this time. How the hosts can't see certain photos. Like, obviously that played out later.
Dude. Like, but you nailed it.
Don't know if that
not even
was
just photos, certain things at all.
Right.
In their physical world, they can't see.
Right, yeah. But at that point in the episode...
So, like, when they're sitting... I wonder if when they're sitting and they're talking to the people, do they just see white around them? Do they just not see anything that's going on?
Okay.
Oh, no, that's bullshit because Maeve is seeing it all. But maybe she's the only one who can right now, is witnessing all of this. Maybe they don't see any of that going on around them.
I hadn't thought of that.
Because they don't see anything that hurts them, he said. They can't see anything that'll hurt them. Ford said that.
That'll hurt them.
Mentally or physically. That's why he looked at those plans for him and was just like... Yeah, no, it doesn't look like anything to me. That was a pretty bone-chilling moment right there in the episode.
Right, yeah, I mean, just that concept altogether,
yeah.
I didn't even... I mean, we did talk about it. I don't know if that was on the podcast or if I mentioned that after the podcast last week.
Bernard being a...
Well, just I guess the implication of that was that Bernard was one, but...
No, you did talk about that on the podcast.
Oh,
the photos?
I remember the
I'm
photo
pretty sure
thing, but I don't remember... I remember speculating that Bernard was Arnold.
You know what? Maybe it wasn't, because maybe we were sitting here looking at it, watching the episode, and you pointed that out.
And I pointed it out.
So maybe it wasn't on the podcast.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Nobody wants to hear me go, I called it.
But you did. But you did. That was very... So,
That door, the shot that you made me watch twice because I didn't really catch it the first time, was the pan over and then the pan back, and you see the door there.
The door that wasn't there when they walked in.
Yeah, I mean, that was the moment. That was the moment you knew Bernard was an android.
Yes, but she didn't catch on until he said.
I didn't think so. I didn't think
she didn't catch it until he said, "Doesn't look like anything to me."
Right when he was looking at the picture.
She snapped up and looked at him, and then Ford was standing there, and like I'm telling you, his performance right there, the way he looks or not.
Dolores has been in that room before. In episode 3, she was in that room. And there was a door, but in this episode there was a bookcase blocking the door in the corner of that room.
Okay.
Just interesting. I don't know. I saw that online
But he said there was one of many places around the thing. Like, Bernard didn't... But you're talking about he was in the room with... She was in the room with Ford or with Bernard?
I can't remember. I think it was Bernard. It was Bernard.
So then, but he just found the cottage. So why would he have been in that room?
Because he doesn't.
It would have been.
He could be being erased every day, dude. Like not every day.
Certain things could be being erased.
That could be. That could have been in the 30 years ago time.
The thing that's cool is how advanced is he? Like, how advanced of a thing is he that he's been operating, just feeling like he's a real person with this past?
Yeah, but everybody, but all of them feel that way. That's the irony of it. Is like Dolores is.
Yeah, but his is more complicated though, because
person.
He was perceiving their world,
right,
in the real world. He was seeing that, like they don't even see that.
But he doesn't see the real world. He doesn't get to go out.
No,
but he remembers that he did, which they could have. That's just another memory set.
Yeah,
you know, it's just
so it's just basically Ford, like she said, playing God, but wanting to still keep everything.
I mean, we talked about that a long time
control.
ago. The people in there being
See, that opens the book too. Here's another question I asked. Okay. Well, I think while we were watching it too, I'd like to talk about it.
Okay.
The one that was being made in the glass case. Could that be like he's making Teresa?
Right, and do they all require a blood sacrifice? Has every
implanting her into back into the fold,
whatever it is,
on his behalf instead of fighting against him?
I would think that has to that could be a direction they're going. I don't want to say has to be because it
doesn't have to be not with this show, but I think that's a good.
I think she'll just be back next episode and everything will be back to normal. Bernard will be fucking her again. You know what I mean? Like that's just gonna go back.
Now, and another thing is, do you think it was Bernard that snatched up? What's her name?
Well, hold on, because what if he said we needed a blood sacrifice? Now he said that at the same time it was building that other thing, the new one. So if it does, then does that mean every host was a human being at one point?
I mean, that
has come there and been murdered by him.
That's a pretty scary thought.
Right, that Dolores was somebody that he knew in real life.
And like, what if could he possibly be a host? Just like the ultimate host? Like he's figured out how to transfer his consciousness and live immortally?
But in that old looking
just to be throwing people off? And how much stronger is a host than an actual human being? Seems to be like they like if it came to a one-on-one fight. Oh, right.
When Bernard punched her in the face twice and just destroyed her.
I don't think he just punched her once, it looked like.
Oh, okay.
I think he slammed her up against the wall and then he was just like,
oh, okay. I must have counted
that was it. Like he punched her like head between the wall, like because there was a blood splat on the wall. Like he just smashed her head with one punch.
Yeah, she sucked anyway. I mean, to be quite frank, she was.
You know why? Lame. Like she was the only one on the show that I was just like her acting.
Yeah.
Isn't like was it a fake accent?
No, because when in the behind the scenes stuff, she still talks the same.
So she's just not a good actress then, is what it is. Because like I was just like, man, that accent is just like wow, like it's like you just learned how to speak English.
Right. Well, yeah, because I mean, we saw her talking to who is the black girl, the younger one in the administration,
the board member,
yeah.
Charlotte.
Oh, is she a board member? Is that what Charlotte? It was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she had that discussion with Teresa and bummed the cigarette off her. The
interesting reveal was that the things were in the mountains. That the fuck, I can't think of the word.
They're
like
contained.
Their complex is in the mountain. Like the offices are.
Well, we've talked about that before too. I've said that. Like it's just it goes up above and
down below.
It goes,
obviously.
But it doesn't. It's not just in one spot either. Like their main offices and complex might be in one spot, but that sprawls all throughout that park because he went into.
Well, that's a theory
and
still.
Like popping up.
That's theory.
They did it. They walked to an elevator and popped up.
Okay, well then I guess it does. Yeah, you're right.
It popped up under a thing. Remember, I was like, that was a long elevator ride.
Right.
Like they were in there forever. Like. That it just pops up in the middle of the park wherever they need to go. Like I think they can. There's like certain like if you looked at the map, there's like spots all over the map where those elevators would pop up, and there's got to be tunnel systems going to those spots so they can get quickly in and out.
Yeah.
Stop and or fix things.
I saw a thing on the Delos website that was showing like the way that it goes down into the earth.
The Delos website.
Yeah. The company, the company that owns Westworld, Delos, they're doing it like the Hanzo Foundation, or like or like the Dharma Initiative.
Like
it's like little tie-ins in the real world to make it seem more legit.
Okay,
but they show this thing and it looks like the picture of Dante's however many levels of hell.
The 9 levels of hell.
Yeah,
Dante's
the way that it's shaped looks similar to that. And like I'm sure that's not an accident.
But they keep talking about levels.
Right.
So what if that's so that'd be a cool
the second
ending
level
is that getting to level 2 basically like welcome to level 2 like we said at the end of that other show.
Persons Unknown.
Would you be mad if they pulled that same line?
If they said the same line, no, I'd be like fuck yeah, Persons Unknown.
Welcome to level 2.
But
and like what if that's then you get into that and that's like Roman world or medieval world or space world or some they come up with some other fucking crazy
That's not something I had really considered. Like, I know we talked about the different worlds before, but I never considered that it might wrap up the Westworld part in season 1.
Well, you were just saying that, but still the same characters. That wasn't what I meant. I know, but still the same characters moving into so like Man in Black finally makes it to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, and then like Dolores is there, but she's a different.
Do you think we're in for a huge?
I don't think it's going to. A coup
happening in the real world, trying to take down Ford, the board trying to go up against Ford.
No, because I bet you he's got some people on the board. I mean, some androids on the board.
Oh,
you don't think he's
think about it like
you
that.
don't think he's
well? I like. I mean, like I'm saying, those lines. There's a few lines in his little monologue at the end.
Yeah,
when he was talking about the board. They test me now and then. I think they enjoy the sport of it. Like that's. Right. I mean, he had some really good lines at the end. Like I thought he was outstanding. Like in the episode, like good episode. The whole thing was fantastic, and all the acting is usually really good on the show. But Anthony, Anthony Quinn was.
Anthony Quinn?
What's his
name?
Hopkins? Anthony Hopkins. God damn it, was fantastic.
Anthony Quinn, medicine woman. Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. There used to be
Anthony. Yeah, okay, I don't know why. I don't know why I went there. Anthony Hopkins was. I mean, like I said, he was like his monologue at the end was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It had me with chills. Like my hair was standing up.
I was wondering why they weren't worried about people, the hosts seeing the office windows, but that would be another thing about. They can't see certain shit, so they would just block that out. So what that could mean, though, really, is that what we see as the park I mean, now this is going to sound really obvious when I say it, but what we see as the park may not actually exist. Like,
how could it not exist?
It may just be a projection, an experience that puts you into a, virtual reality kind of a thing. It may not actually look the way that we see it. It could be a warehouse, and but to them, they're seeing this sprawling landscape, and
I'm not going to.
You know what I'm saying? Like they could be having, Ford could be sitting at his desk next to somebody, or in the middle of a field, and you wouldn't see it. Like he could just block that from everybody, so he's literally just sitting there on the fucking. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it is. I'm saying there could be structures. Like Bernard says later, this one in particular is hidden from hosts. There could be a million things like that are just in the world that they inhabit that they don't see.
But yes, but I don't think that would make them. I still think they're physical objects. I think we've already came past the point that this is a physical place.
But the world might not be as it's perceived. It's being perceived by the hosts and by the guests.
So, but how would they implant the guests to perceive it like that?
It's a good question.
See, I think that's why I would think it looks like what it looks like for the people to go there.
So if a guest went there and they looked up at the offices or whatever, they'd see the windows.
They would see that, but they understand what's happening. You're supposed to understand what's happening.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You don't. That's why they block it out. Do you see the thing when he was talking to Hector at the beginning, and he had the little computer?
Okay.
And you could see the words popping up as he was saying them.
Right.
And he said, did somebody say something to you? You had a blacklisted encounter. And he said, the guy said, Hector.
Oh, okay.
Bernard said to Hector, you had a blacklisted encounter. What was that about?
Yeah.
And Hector said, the guy said he wanted to cut off my ear and take it and mount it on his car. And as it was popping up on the computer screen,
highlighted
take it
car.
home, that home popped up, and then thrown on his car popped up. Those are blacklisted words. And he was like, well, does what do those mean anything to you? And he gave him a self-awareness test. A machine was giving another machine a self-awareness test. A machine that was self-aware in and of itself.
Well, but it wasn't, because it didn't know what it is. So it's not even self-aware.
So it wasn't self-aware. So I guess that's a... God, it's a
good mindfuck. This is the kind of show that makes great podcasting, really. It's made to discuss this kind of shit, because it's not just take it at surface value.
That, I just even thought about that, just came across that right now. A machine was giving another machine a fucking,
I was hoping we were going to be I was just going to turn around and we were going to be at the part
that we were talking about.
No, with Bernard getting fired, that meeting, because I swear I saw Ford glitch. Now, I don't know if that was...
You mean the screen glitched, or you mean you saw him do a weird...
I mean that
literally we talked about we were going to do that yesterday. We should go back and look at
literally where he is standing. If I'm standing like this in the shot, just over me went it just glitched real quick. Just over his body.
You said your internet was being flaky, though, too.
It was here. I was watching it here.
No, you said that happened when we were watching it here.
Yes, I was watching it here. I hadn't seen it. That was the first time I was watching it. I meant it happened just then. That's why I was saying, should we go back and check? Because it glitched on him, and then later it glitched on the girl. So it made me... I was trying to figure out if that's a real thing.
You didn't say that right then, though. You said that later on in the episode or something, because that point had already passed, and then you said that.
Right. I watched it when you weren't in the room. You had walked out.
That's what it is. I left the fucking room.
Yeah.
I went to...
And I was like, what the fuck was that?
That's what it was.
But I never bothered to rewind it and check. So that may be nothing. That may have just been the internet. But... I think if it wasn't, I think it could have been... We meant to go
back and look, and we never did.
It could have been...
We'll totally forget after this, too.
It could have been a thing telling us that Bernard was an android. You know what I'm saying? It could have been something, maybe the way he was perceiving something. I don't know. It's probably nothing, and we could be discussing it for no fucking reason. Because I didn't hear anybody else mention it.
But for Bernard to be lifelike enough... for these people who work around these hosts all the time, he's at a different level than the rest of them.
Okay, you mean evolutionary
I'm sorry, as far as being self-aware. He's more self-aware than the hosts in the park are.
In the sense that he knows about that part of the...
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he knows that there is
but
a
he
park,
knows there's a real world. He knows that he thinks he was part of this real world, that he has this past in it.
That conversation with his wife was generated. That was something, memory we were seeing, in the same way that we saw... Maeve remembering stuff when she watched the entry video.
Yes, and saw her
the same thing,
Yeah.
I liked when what's her name said, "How many times have you died, Maeve?"
Yeah.
She's like, "I've died thousands."
I've died millions of times.
Millions of times. Like, how many times have you died? And she's like, "Fuck."
She's like, "I'm getting pretty good at it," or something like that.
Right. I got nothing else as far as nothing else notes wise. Well, okay, why the taking of the prostitute and then Maeve being not responding to the button, like the pause button,
right? They turned up her perception. They turned up certain things on her to where she is almost self-aware.
That's what it did.
Point.
That's what.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is self-aware at this point. She said, "I want to get out of here." Okay, and she's threatening other people to get what she wants.
Gotcha.
I think she can hurt somebody. We haven't seen her do it yet, but I think she can.
So you think it was always just a matter of degrees, like how much they pulled this knob up, or you know what I mean?
Nobody knew they were this advanced, besides Ford. Ford has been feeding them updates and things like that nobody else can see to make them.
I would love some beer.
More human.
Period. Finishing up the first podcast now. Sorry. What did you say just then? I'll never do that again. That was my bad. I totally didn't hear the last thing that you just said.
I don't remember what it was.
Shut up. That's it. It's just gone. Perfect.
No, I was saying, that she's self-aware. She can perceive.
So you were saying she
what I was saying was nobody else besides Ford is aware that these things are as advanced as they are.
Right.
Being able to become self-aware.
Right.
Remember these things that are happening.
What if there's a couple options. What if he isn't? What if he's not aware that that's happening? What if that's all part of what getting to the next level is about anyway, and that's part of the plan, and just he's the only one that knows. I do, some part of me thinks that everything is supposed to be happening. Like, all of the steps of it. And I know people dismiss the William is Man in Black theory, but it gets stronger every episode.
And I think, but the more and more they do it, the more and more I think that it's misdirection.
You don't think he is now?
I'm asking. I'm not committing to one side or another.
What do you think it is at this point?
Dude, I'm led to believe that that's what it is.
Okay. I don't think it's timelines.
I guess if you were like, hey, pick one, I'd say, he's Man in Black.
Yeah.
I'd say that because of the way the thing. But with the way the show goes, I think it's partly misdirection. But they've been very careful not to play certain characters at certain times. Like, we haven't seen Dolores with Man in Black since the first episode.
I think it's going to be the wrapping up of that storyline. As disappointed as I will be, because here's the thing, I would watch Jimmy Simpson in anything serious.
He's been good.
Because he's great. If you ever see the show Breakout Kings, it was like not a follow-up to Prison Break, but it was by the same people who did Prison Break. And it was this guy from The Wire and Entourage, this big bald dude. And he led a team of criminals that would help catch other criminals who broke out of jail. And they ended up using Teabag in an episode from Prison Break. And he was fucking vicious in this show. And
was he
more hardcore.
Was he still Teabag?
He was Teabag, but he was it was fucked up. Like, the way they made him was raw. He bit some dude and then broke his fucking, stabbed him with his own bone or something.
Get the fuck out of here.
It was
Jesus.
It was on a cable network, so it could be more graphic.
Brutal. He tore out his fucking...
Not his own, the guy's.
No, that's what I mean.
Somebody else's. He broke his arm and then tore out his bone and stabbed him with it or something. It was crazy. But Jimmy Simpson was one of the other criminals that was on the team helping to catch these people, and he was fucking great. He's riveting. He's in the same way as like Edward Norton, I'll watch him talk about stuff. Like there's something
he
about
hasn't had a lot of lines,
right.
like a lot of speaking lines in this show, but he's been really good. I
so what I was going to say is I don't necessarily want them to go away next season. I don't want it to be Jimmy Simpson isn't in it.
Or because we've caught up to they told the
right.
past story.
So we only get
so if it
Ed
is
Harris.
2 timelines, yes. So they told his
not
past
2
story.
timelines, 2 time periods.
Okay, that's the correct way of putting it. Yes, we're seeing 2. That's
Sorry,
a better,
it's nitpicky, but
yes,
it makes sense.
No, it is. It makes more because 2 timelines would mean like
they're converging eventually,
right.
or something.
No, there's 2 time periods. We're watching 30 years ago, or we're watching it.
Right.
Okay. I like what's.
What if they're building up to
said.
the incident, dude? What if they're building up to the incident here? What if that's what we're seeing with William and
didn't
Dolores?
You say you shot down the thing where Seth said the movie was the incident? Like the movie took place however many 33 years ago or whatever.
But it wouldn't make sense.
It was like 40 something years ago.
You have to watch it, dude, because it's the same, but it's so different.
Yeah,
like it's like they didn't have a script. And I don't.
That's how most of those '80s movies are to me. Like they don't have a script. Like it's like, dude, what happened?
They're just like hanging out,
right?
And it's just like
they didn't like put it together properly. Yeah.
It's like, what is happening? Why is this scene so long? Nothing's going to happen. It's worth a while. I don't know. Jimmy Simpson in an interview that I read today said, because somebody asked, is it going to be a major cliffhanger at the end of season 1? And he said, I don't think it's a major cliffhanger where you're going to be like, oh, what the fuck? We didn't get any answers. He said script 10 was a revelation to me. Because I learned so many things, and you know what I mean, like it all. So he's saying basically we're going to get answers, but it's going to open up another thing that you're really going to want to know about.
Yeah, see, I think that's where they're leading to. Right. That's why I'm saying like they walk into the next door, boof, they're in fucking Roman world. It looks like fucking Spartacus and shit, and you're like, oh shit, you know, like or the next episode is like the end of the episode is them walking through like a hallway where it's not Western shit, but it's something else.
Where they're getting
where
geared
it's
up.
Roman stuff, or it's medieval stuff, and they're like, and they start getting geared up for that, and then they open the door, and then boom, it ends. We just get a glimpse of medieval world, boom, and then I think that would be cool.
Or they do like a prison break where he walks out into the courtyard of Sona, and it's fucking just bright white light, and that's it. That was the end of the season. I was like, what the fuck?
Or something like that. Just open it up. It's white, so we have no idea.
We don't get to see it. Yeah.
To what it is.
I'm really enjoying the show. I'm worried that my only worry about the show is that, like I said at the beginning, we're going to learn whether everything matters or it doesn't. I hope that everything matters.
Absolutely, dude.
But you say that, but people have poked so many holes in the Man in Black is William theory.
Well, if it's something better, that's fine. That's why I think we do that sometimes, though. We do this sometimes where we attach ourselves, you especially.
I do.
Where you attach yourself to a certain theory and then you're disappointed when then that's not what it is. I try not to do that.
I've done that before, in Game of Thrones especially.
You absolutely did that. To this crazy-ass complicated theory, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm disappointed. That's not that. Well, of course it wasn't going to be that, because that was insane.
Yeah, some of it felt a bit like, okay, if you just know all the information,
even though it's like half
obvious.
The characters in that theory, nobody knew who the fuck they were.
I don't even know.
We didn't even know who they were. Anyway, but yes, you do that. Just
right.
Just like that.
Absolutely.
So don't do that to yourself with this one. Don't attach yourself to that theory. It is what it is. It's a theory.
What I'm saying is, if it turns out to be true, which I think it will be, I genuinely think that's where they're going with this whole season. That's going to be part of the conclusion in episode 10. The answers is going to be he became that guy.
Okay.
But they're going to tell it in a way that will be satisfying, I think. But what I worry about is if there are details that contradict it, and they weren't meant to contradict, they were just things that existed in the show. You know what I'm saying?
You were saying like a throwaway.
If it doesn't matter, that will bum me out a little bit. If you can contradict stuff in a show, I don't like that. That's all I'm saying, and I don't want to get to the end and have it be, you said this thing, but that didn't matter.
That's because things like Game of Thrones and Lost fit together.
Every piece matters.
Fits together perfectly. Yeah. Every little scene you're watching.
You can hardly contradict anything. I think we've contradicted one or two things in Lost. Period.
In the major thing in Game of Thrones that is the only major thing that I think there's a lot of like.
Sorry, we take TV very fucking
gray
seriously.
area about is the Cersei prophecy.
Right.
The 3 children when she had 4 children.
Right.
So that's a huge.
And they just ignore the one.
So it's like it's kind of like.
But I feel like that might
there?
be intentional because I feel like the gypsy lady. Oh, sorry, wrong show. Yeah, I'll explain why I think that's different.
Okay. Well, anyway, we can wrap up Westworld here.
Yeah, we'll be back next week to discuss it again.
Yeah, and that's episode 8, right? So then with 3 more, 8, 9, 10. Was
right.
that 7?
Yeah, 8, 9, 10.
8, 9, 10. So 3 more episodes, and then no more till 2018. But I'm definitely going back when this is over with, and watching it all again. Just binge watching it. So you can just pay attention to everything as it's happening. Yeah, I don't know how it's, like you said, we take this too seriously, but like
no,
when I watch something
seriously, and that's a great thing.
When I watch something the second time through, I cannot look at the people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Look at
you're looking at the surroundings
the
and watching the details and looking at the scene. Like, I can look past the people. The first time you watch it, you're staring at the people. You're staring at their faces, their mouths,
that was
the
what
words
was
they say. So and the second time you watch it through, you can like look in the background and kind of like
that was the
see what's
freedom
happening.
of Attack on Titan in English.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because Jesus, dude, you couldn't look at anything but reading the subtitles because it was going so fast.
It was freeing to watch.
You just got to watch it like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was cool. It was
Find Attack on Titan and watch that.
Yeah, it was really cool. That was really
also,
cool too.
if you haven't watched Lost, watch Lost.
It's closer to when Attack.
At some point, I'm just gonna go.
When we get an answer,
it's gonna be the end music.
When we get an answer to season 2 on Attack on Titan, we ought to do an Attack on Titan podcast just to. Kind of jump on the hype of that because certain people will be into that. So anyway, we'll see you next week.
This is how to watch TV.
See you later.
All these memories in my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.